Before we get into the latest surrounding the New York Knicks, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. This is Knicks Now by Chat Sports. We put out videos every day on the latest Knicks news and rumors, and we're almost at 19,000 subs strong on the channel. Sub for Knicks Dubs. We've won 2 in a row. We got the Nuggets on Saturday. Let's make it 3. You are watching New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. The Knicks had a great win to close their 4-game West Coast trip last night against the Portland Trail Blazers. Somewhat of a sloppy first quarter, but they really dominated in the final 3 quarters of the game. We'll break that down in a second. But the story surrounding the Knicks right now is Mitchell Robinson. He seems pretty upset in his lack, or I guess limited touches that he's getting on offense. He went on to Snapchat, which is probably the most 20-year-old thing I've ever seen. Posted a Snapchat saying he was tired of not being involved in the Knicks offense. This is it. He said, tired as ASF, which means as, and then the F word, of just being out there for cardio, fam. Like, I want to play basketball to really just wasting my time and energy. He's upset. He thinks he's out there just for cardio. He's not getting the ball on offense. But which was weird is he backdoored that social media post on Snapchat and then went to Twitter later in the night and said, life's a climb, but the views are great. Good night. Mitchell Robinson, Mitchell Robinson, Mitchell Robinson. You're making $15 million per year, my man. You gotta just understand your role. You're a rebounder. You're a rim protector. You're a lob threat guy. You're a dunker spot guy. You bring energy. You beat teams up. You dominate the glass. And then you go onto Twitter and to Snapchat to complain about your offensive role after you had, in my opinion, a terrible West Coast trip. You weren't good. You got dominated by Anthony Davis against the Los Angeles Lakers. You didn't play good last night against the Portland Trail Blazers. Yusuf Nurkic had your number. When you look at the stats from the last 4 games on that West Coast trip, Mitchell Robinson really didn't have a good game, except for the Clippers game, where he was 2 of 8 from the field, which is a little bit over-exaggerated because there was a lot of missed putbacks and stuff like that. But look at the stats. He didn't really play that much. He didn't really close the games either. 9 points, 8 rebounds against the Kings, no steals or blocks. 6 points, 14 rebounds, 3 steals and blocks against the Clippers. I thought that was his best game of the West Coast trip, but he wasn't efficient around the basket. Against the Lakers, Anthony Davis took him to school, dominated him, gave him buckets. The Knicks found a way to win. 4 points, 5 rebounds, 2 steals and blocks combined. And then against the Blazers, he just threw the towel in and didn't really even play and didn't play that many minutes. Just 21 minutes, 2 points, 4 rebounds, 2 combined steals and blocks. The last thing Mitchell Robinson needs to be complaining about, in my opinion, is his involvement or lack thereof in the offense and his offensive touches. That's not your game. Know your role. Be you, Mitchell Robinson. Just block shots, own the board, and make your freaking free throws. You shoot 48% from the foul line. You have to be better there. Because when Mitchell Robinson catches the ball deep inside the paint and he goes to the cup to throw it down, if he's fouled and he misses 2, that's the equivalent of a turnover. You go 1 for 2, that's not even good. It's just unacceptable. If you want more touches, become a better player on that end. Make your free throws. Develop a back-to-the-basket game. Have a little softer touch around the rim, because the only way he scores right now is a wide-open dunker layup, a putback, or an alley-oop. I haven't seen a move in 4 years from Mitchell Robinson. I like him. He's a good player. He's good at what he does, which is rebounding, blocking shots, and dominating the offensive glass, and being a good lob threat. He's also a terrible pick setter. I know that's something to complain about, but he set some of the worst screens in the NBA. Look, your team won 2 games in a row. Why are you complaining? You're making $15 million. What do you guys make of the Mitchell Robinson Snapchat post? What do you make of Mitchell Robinson's Snapchat post? He's a young kid, wants to be involved on offense, but I take it as somewhat selfish and pretty stupid, in my opinion, because your team won 2 games in a row. You weren't good on the West Coast trip, and you're asking for things that you just aren't good at. But let me know. Maybe I'm overreacting. Sound off for me down below. From one center to another, what about Isaiah Hartenstein, who, in my opinion, had a great West Coast trip? He battled. He played his heart out. Isaiah Hartenstein, he's really been the heart and the lifeline of this team off the bench. I will say this. I believe the Knicks offense late in the fourth quarter when Hartenstein is on the court compared to Mitchell Robinson is better. There's more fluidity. He can hang out on the perimeter, which brings the other team's shot blocker and rim protector outside the paint because Hartenstein is such a good dribble handoff guy. You can run the offense through him a little bit. In this West Coast trip, he averaged almost 3 assists per game. He played well, and I think the offense just flows better with him on the court. And when you look at what he did in the West Coast trip, you might look and say, 5 points, 4 points, 0 points, 0 points. Marshall, how are you saying this guy's better than Mitchell Robinson? I'm not saying that, but I thought he had a better trip than he did. And he knows that he can affect winning in ways that don't come in shots or points. 9 rebounds against the Kings in 24 minutes. I thought he did a great job on Sabonis. 5 rebounds against the Clippers. Thought he played well. In the Lakers game, he closed the game and played really well. 11 rebounds, 0 points, 3 steals and blocks combined. Also against the Blazers, he had 11 rebounds, 2 steals and blocks combined as well. I'm a big fan of Isaiah Hartenstein coming off the bench. I thought he played well, and I'm happy that he's a New York Knick. Very proud of the way he played on this West Coast trip. I thought he was a good piece off the bench. Coming up, we're going to break down last night's game in totality. But first, make sure you guys have your Knicks Now Chat Sports Real One shirts. The NBA playoffs is right around the corner. There's 11 games left. Now is the time to rep your team and show some love to Chat Sports. Rock some Knicks gear for the playoffs. Chatsports.com/RealKnicks. That is chatsports.com/RealKnicks. Get your Real One shirt today. Rep the squad. Show some love to Chat Sports. That link will be in the comments and description of today's video. 123-107. The New York Knicks beat the Portland Trail Blazers last night. Said it on the top of the show. Started a little bit slow. I believe they had 8 points in the first 9 minutes of the game, but they found a way to put it together. I thought there was a lot of people that played really well, and we'll go through everybody's stats here on the channel today's video. I just thought they wanted it more than the Blazers in those final 3 minutes. They dominated in the third quarter. They came out of halftime. I feel like Tom Thibodeau chewed them out a little bit. They came out, played harder. They wanted it more. It's an easy game to look past. It's the last game of a West Coast trip. You're going from Portland to New York in 3 hours. You're ready to get home, ready to see your family, and you're ready to play the Denver Nuggets on Saturday. But the Knicks were locked in, and they were able to get a big W to get them to 2-2 on this West Coast trip without Jalen Brunson. Hopefully, Captain Clutch is back on Saturday. R.J. Barrett, I thought, had one of his better games of the season. Started the game slow, like everybody on the Knicks did. Had a couple early turnovers, but he really turned it on, and he was really efficient from the field. When you get 61.5% from the field from R.J. Barrett, you're going to win a lot of games. He was getting to the cup at will. When he had Anthony Simons on him, he bullied him to his left hand and got a shot off. Loved the way R.J. played, and I thought he was engaged on the defensive end as well. Julius Randle had a solid game, just another inefficient night for him. But the Knicks needed a tough shot taker and a tough shot maker, and that's what Randle was last night. Another double-double for him, another good game and a great season for him. I thought this was one of his better games of the West Coast trip. I thought he started it slowly, even including the Charlotte Hornet game at home, the last 5 games, which I thought he played really bad. Good game, though, for Randle, following a really rough game against the Clippers on Saturday. Thought he played well against the Lakers as well as last night against the Blazers. We already talked about Mitchell Robinson. I don't want to spend too much time on him. I didn't think he played well. Didn't think he had that good of a game. Only 4 rebounds for someone that's 7'2", with the physical strength and just athletic ability he had. That's just really unacceptable. Yusuf Nurkic should not be outplaying you, Mitchell Robinson. Quentin Grimes, I thought for the first time this season, had a bad game. We go live for every game day, and I said to myself, I think for the first time all year, I feel like Quentin Grimes is hurting the team right now. He had a couple of bad turnovers. He got into foul trouble guarding Dame Lillard. Look, it's a tough ask to guard Dame Lillard. He's a professional scorer, going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Grimes is still a young kid in this league. That was definitely a learning experience for him last night. But he's got to start to hit some shots. He was shooting like 38% at one point during this year. It's down to 35. He's got to take and make open shots. That's why he's on the court and play defense and not turn over the ball. I'm a big fan of Grimes. I'm not worried about last night. I think it was just kind of a outlier, but he did not play well. Someone that did play really well and it started to play really well all season long is Emmanuel Quickly. Didn't play that well. I believe it was the Kings game. He was 0 for 10 or 1 for 11. Maybe it was the Clippers game. I don't remember. I do a lot of shit. He played great, though, last night against the Blazers. 26 points, 10 rebounds, all heart, all hustle, all determination, doing everything he can to find ways to help this team win ball games. Emmanuel Quickly, your sixth man of the year, 3 assists as well, very efficient. This offense is better when he is aggressive, getting downhill, looking for his own shot. Big game from IQ. Love that dude. Josh Hart. I mean, what do I got to say else about Josh Hart? He's a winner. He's a Knick. And if you were mad that you traded Cam Reddish for Josh Hart, you just don't freaking know ball. Cam Reddish was awful last night. He was building a house in the paint at the Portland Trail Blazers arena, brick after brick. He even shot a 3 where it hit the side of the backboard. I don't want to shit on Cam Reddish. I think he's talented. Just not a good player right now. Was not a good player for the Knicks. And he can't shoot the ball. You got a player that is all about winning. Damn near a triple-double for him. Also had 3 steals, almost 50%. Josh Hart, you're a freaking dog. And if I get anyone's jersey on this team, it'll be a number 3, Josh Hart. Isaiah Hartenstein, talked about him a second ago. All heart-to-heart connection, him and Hartenstein and Hart. I love this dude coming off the bench. Wish he was a little bit more skilled offensively, but he shows you he's got that little push shot sometimes from the dotted line. I thought he played well. But the MVP last night of the game was Deuce McBride. What a game for the second-year player out of West Virginia. 18 points, 4 of 5 from 3, 6 of 8 from the field, 3 assists. He was the Energizer Bunny as he is on the defensive side of the court. Playing with effort, that block. So my favorite play was, you can talk about the threes and all that for sure. But what about the fast break by the Portland Trail Blazers? Ball gets kicked ahead. It's to Simons. Deuce tips it, but it doesn't really affect the trajectory of the ball. He fights back into the picture, hustles, and then just glasses the hell out of Anthony Simons. Miles McBride, man, you get the game ball. Very happy. When he hits shots, this team's going to win games, ladies and gentlemen. He is fighting for a spot in this rotation. I don't know how he doesn't get minutes if he's going to be playing like this. Obi Toppin, I thought, also had a huge game for the New York Knicks. Didn't play all that many minutes, but as we know, Obi can get buckets in a flurry of minutes. Look, 11 points, 4 or 6 from the field. I thought he played good on the defensive end. He got him some easy buckets on the leak out, and he made a couple of threes from downtown. Always wish Obi got more minutes, but we do know Tom Thibodeau is the coach, and that is not going to happen. Just want to do a quick recap of the game right here. Knicks win 123-107. They shot 52% from the deck, 43% from 3. That's the best they've shot on this West Coast trip. 24-34 from the line, a little bit troubling for me. You can just see that they beat up the Portland Trail Blazers. They got 34 attempts at the line. Blazers got 18. I thought they just dominated this game through and through. I'm proud of the way they played. I thought that they hustled. I thought they wanted it. Started slow, but look, when you shoot 52% and 43% from downtown, you're going to win a lot of the games that you play in. They did that last night. Good game for the New York Knicks. Proud of the way that they played. So you're sitting at 41-30 right now. If you're the New York, you're the Knicks. You're sitting at 41-30. Can't believe this team's going to win 45, 46 games. I'll ask you, though, with 11 games left, how many games will the Knicks, or how many wins will the Knicks finish with? 11 games left. Let's say you go 6-5 the rest of the way. That means you're 47-35. That's a hell of a season. Let me know, sound off, how many wins will they finish with? Also, just want to talk about this real quick because the Knicks do own the Dallas Mavericks first-round pick in this year's draft. Dallas Mavericks lose again last night. They are 34-35, ladies and gentlemen. That pick is top 10 protected. And if the draft was today, that pick would be number 13. You could get a starter at that spot. If you have the 13th pick in the draft, if it was today, push that. There you go. 13th pick in the draft. Imagine the Knicks get into the playoffs, winning 47 games, win a playoff series, and they get a starter at pick number 13 in a loaded draft class. Kristaps Porzingis, this is for you. We appreciate it. As Aaron Rodgers just broke the news, my intention is to play for the Jets. Breaking news here on Knicks Now as well. Aaron Rodgers, you are a Jet. Appreciate you guys tuning in to today's show. I'm your host, Marshall Green. Hit me up on Twitter at @MarshallGreen_.